Okay, so first we are going to see what we are going to create. I will just clear this part so that is okay. Okay, guys, this is something that we want to create today. Okay, this is also a 4-second animation. So I will like you guys to go ahead and create a new composition. Uh, give it any name you want. Uh, okay, give it any name you want. I will go okay, workshop 2. And I will again leave the dimensions as same. All the properties are the same only. Again, 4-second duration for this. Go ahead and click on OK. We have a new composition for to work on. Okay, the first of all, we need a square for this animation. So earlier we have played with the circles. Now we will start off the square. Of course, before that, I will try to put my color palette here so that I can. Sorry. Wait a second. I put my color palette here and I lock the layer so that I can pick the colors easily. Okay, I lock the layer on the top. Okay, we'll go ahead with the shape layer. We have selected the rectangle tool and draw a square. We'll draw a square. Okay, we have drawn a square. I will change its. I want its colors to be something light. I will choose the lightest color from the color palette. Okay, guys. Now we have tried to keep it in the center itself. Uh, Now we want our square to be a little at an angle. So go ahead and go ahead in the transform properties and go to the rotation, and we'll rotate it. I'd say rotate it by 45 degree, so that we get something this kind of this. So now again we'll draw. Will require a circle. So go ahead and select a circle. So we'll go ahead and draw a circle also. We'll need a circle. So try to make it a circle, not big and not small. We need a circle that can fit between these square. So I'll go ahead. I will try to make a circle, not so big and not so small. Okay, I think this might work out. Okay, and we'll change its color to a plain white. Change the color of the circle to a white. I will set it in the between. Yeah. So currently it looks something like this. Okay. So in the first animation, how we split the layer using the mask, we'll do the same thing here. We need only half of the circle. We don't need the full circle. So we'll go ahead and again we'll select on the pen with the layer selected. We select on the pen tool. Go ahead and select the mask layer. And now we'll select the part we want in the mask. Wait, we'll select this out. Okay. So only half of the circle is now visible. Uh, this much part we have covered previously also. So I'll move a little fast now. Because the same thing will repeat 1 or 2 times more. So what we are going to do is we take the shape layer tool, we'll again duplicate it because we want more half layers. So we'll go to edit composition and we'll go and we'll directly duplicate it. We have one more layer, but I want this color to be different. What I do, I'll go change the color. So this. Okay. Now, guys, I will show you here. You see, we have this big semicircle, one little small, and one very small semicircle. So we need these two extra. So we'll go and try to make the same. So uh, now we see the guys how anchor point works. As I showed you earlier, go to this pan behind tool. You can see the pan behind tool there. Okay. Yeah, so select the pan and we'll drag the anchor. We'll drag the anchor to this corner so that after dragging to corner, go ahead to the shape layer 3 and its transform properties and scale it down. When you scale it down, it will naturally go to the upper corner. So I will set the scale to 40 for now. Okay. And now we need one more smaller version of it. So you guys know what to do. Just select the shape layer and go ahead and duplicate the layer. Edit composition and select duplicate. Okay. But this what we need on the other side of the panel. So we'll go ahead and we'll right click on it and take the transform properties and go to this time we'll do a flip horizontal so that it appears on the right side. So we have got both our shape layers. What we'll do, so again we'll go into the transform of the shape layer 4, the new shape layer that we acquired, and we'll so currently it's on 40 scale, so we'll scale it down a little bit more. We'll drag it down to 20%. Okay, drag it type in 20. So and we want this at the very bottom of our level, so we'll directly go ahead and position it below. Okay. Also guys, you can see if there is a bit gap, so you can fix it by moving the positions. So our one shape layer, one semicircle is at bottom and one semicircle is at top. What we want to do, you can see in this animation, the small shape layers also moves, and along with it, the bigger semicircle also rotates, and the small semicircle is connected to the bigger semicircle. So we'll try to connect this one and this one to the bigger semicircle. So that we have done previously by using equip tool or parenting tool. We'll do the same thing. So since our shape layer 2 is our basic, so you guys just change the label color so that it can be easily identifiable. So this orange color shape layer is our base. Now we'll connect these two with the shape layer 2. We can go and just hold and drag down onto shape layers. Yes, this one too. Yeah. So now our shape layer 4 and shape layer 3 is connected to shape layer 2. And after connecting, you guys can see if I rotate this, our other two layers will also rotate along with it. Okay. So for now, we'll not touch this. We'll animate our most initial animation of these two moving from up to how you have seen. See this animation once more, how it is moving. So it's moving from up and down, and the position and the scale of the layer is working at the same time. So first we will animate the position. No, I think it's best to animate the shape layer first. I will start with the shape layer 3 first. So we need both position and scale to be animated. So we'll do it one by one. Go at the position and click the that clock icon. keyframe will appear. We'll do the same with the scale also. So both the keyframe appears. Now, once we move forward a few frames. We want the scale to be smaller like this one. So we'll go ahead and we'll type in directly 20%. So scale layer is small. Now we'll adjust its position to bottom layer. We want it at the other end of the circle. We'll go ahead and adjust the position also here. And now we'll do the same thing with the shape layer 4. We'll open up the position and scale. Open up position and scale, and once we go and few the same frames that we have put earlier. So now we want the scale to be 40, as big as the previous one. So go ahead. Now it's 40, and now we'll try. Now we'll position it up. Yeah. So guys, now you can see how this interacts. See, one shape layer is coming down, one shape layer is going up, and at the same time, the scale is increasing and decreasing. So now we want to like ease and adjust the graph a little. So we'll do it again one by one. We'll first go with shape layer. Okay, we'll do one by one, otherwise it will be confusing. Go directly to the shape layer. Okay, sorry guys, I need to convert this to ease first. Right click it, go to keyframe assistant, ease. The same thing we'll do with the upper one also. Select it, right click, keyframe assistant, and ease. Now when you go to graph editor, you will see 2-3 lines together because our position and scale are selected together. You can either go one by one or you can select together, doesn't matter. So drag and select the whole end together. Just drag and select the whole end together. You can see the dragging icon, and you can go ahead and drag it from the right side. So you can have like a fast starting and a slow ending, and you guys can see, okay, the shape layer 4 is more smooth than the other one. So we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the other layer also, shape layer 3. Go to the graph editor, and again see the same thing. Just drag it and we'll see the same effect. Okay. Now I'll see how it looks like. Okay, so now what we want is to repeat it for few frames. Like once it's done, once its rotation done, we'll do it one more time. Go back. So now we want this layer to back in its position, and this layer to go back to its position. So you can again directly hold position and drag it up or down, but we'll not do that because you do a little smart work here. What you can do, since our beginning of the frame is the same as what we want now, we can directly select it and Command C or Command V, copy paste it. For those who are using Windows, it's a Control C, Control V, simple copy paste action. It can be applied here. Same thing we'll do with the other layer also. We'll directly copy paste it. So you guys can see, okay, it goes back, it starts off and goes back to its another, goes back to same position. Okay, now what we require is that, see, along with the animation, you see the bigger semicircle is also rotating. So since we have connected the small layers with the big semicircle, we don't need to worry about anything else than rotating the bigger shape layer, because the other thing will rotate itself. So we'll go, we have also color labeled it so it can be easily distinguished. Go ahead, we'll open the transform properties of shape layer 2 and go to the rotation and select the clock option. Okay, so our rotation first keyframe is here. We'll go to the same in between layers where other keyframes are positioned. We'll align it at the same time, and we'll start the rotation. So at this point of time, I want it to be exactly horizontal, like this. So it's at 90 degree. So when the shape layer switches, it rotates to 90 degree. And again, when it switches, the next rotation can be like this again, vertical. That's 180 degree. So it's like this currently. So it's not looking as good because we have to adjust our keyframes, like easy ease. We'll easy ease all our keyframes again. Just right click it, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. And also, I think we guys have not edited the graph editor for everyone. Okay, we'll do that. First of all, go to graph editor of this animation. Amazing. So you can see from we have 3 keyframes. So we have like from 1.2 second and the second point to third. We want to select the middle one, drag and select the middle one. Okay, so we have selected our dragged and selected the our middle keyframes so that we can adjust their graphs from both sides. What we'll do, we'll take the left corner first, we'll drag it towards the left so that starts first and ends slowly. And we'll do the opposite thing to the right side. We'll drag it in the opposite direction so that we have a very smooth curve in between. So it's like most like you can see as a M shape or a W shape. So it's like it starts off slow, in the middle the whole animation gets slow, and at the end the whole animation is fast. So you see how it looks now. See the rotation of the bigger circle. Okay, I think I have by mistake it's changed. Okay, I will adjust it. So see guys, it's much more smoother now. So up till now, I think everyone has followed. Now we'll move on to the next part of this animation. I think our basic thing is done. Go on, close all the window. So we have achieved the first part. At this point, I want this animation to be continued, but I want to change its color, because at a certain point I imagine it as an animation which is like searching for something, and when the process or it's waiting for a process to start, and when the process starts, it will depict that okay, something is already started. So we'll change its color also to our main green color that I have taken here, so that it resembles something that process has started, or some positive thing. So what we will do, guys, we want the animation to be continued, but we want the colors to be changed. So what we can do is select the first 3 layers on the top. Let's shape layer 2, 3, and 4. Just go on the edit layer, and you can see the split layer again. There's an option called split layer. Type on it. So we have the layers splitted into two. Now we can easily manipulate the other half without affecting the first part. So we'll move the other parts in the top. And also, first select the layers and just type U so that you can check on all the keyframes you have there. Is to check all the keyframes you have there. I think your keyframes all should look like this only. If it's not, then there is a problem. I'll hide this because I don't need this. Now we need to work with this part. So first of all, I will change the color of these two small semicircles that I was talking about. Go and we'll change its color to green. Okay. So now what happens? So at this point, it changes its color. And now we want to continue this rotation animation. So we'll go ahead with the first shape layer 7 and shape layer 6. We'll do the same thing, copy and paste that we have done before. Like right now, we want this exact to be same what it is at this point. I see. Okay, just copy the middle frame, this one. Command C, Command V. And same we'll do with the shape layer 6, Command C and Command V. Then again it will appear at its position. I will repeat this for a few more frames because I require this animation for continuous. So it's better instead of animating it manually every time, I will directly copy it every time. And that's the smart option we have. See, we are just copying pasting the alternate keyframes. So guys, if you have any problem till now, you can tell me. Okay, I think I will leave it till now. If you guys want, you can continue doing it more. So just space out the keyframes so more evenly. I think it's good enough. So guys, till now you guys followed. So see, the animation will continue to happen. So we have not done the rotation part, but other animation is continuing to happen because we have repeated the keyframes. Now we'll do with the same thing we'll do with the rotation. But we cannot copy it here because right now, if you go and copy this one, it will rotate backwards, but we don't want that. We want it to rotate in the same direction. So we'll go ahead and we'll do the rotation manually. At this point, I want it horizontal. Again, at this point, I want it vertical. And at the very last, you can again go ahead and adjust it. Okay, guys. Till now it is clear. We have to still adjust the graph because since we have make new keyframes, we have to go back and see check out how our graph editor looks. I see. So at first, when we have done the first part of the graph editor, you have seen like there was a M shape, but in the new graph, it's again that linear default shape that appears. So we want this to, we also want this to get adjusted a little bit. What we'll do, we'll try to create more M shapes here. Do the same thing what we have done earlier. Just hold the in between and drag it to the left. Again, hold it and drag it to the right. And at the last, since we have only one, we can do this. Now guys, I just want to clear one thing. Why we are doing this? Like if my animation is ending slowly, so I want it again to start slowly. Otherwise, it will look very abrupt that okay, it's come slowly and certainly it moves fast. And in the same way, if my animation is ending fast, I want to start fast so that it looks it looks continuous. There is no abrupt breaks between it. So if you guys achieve this kind of graph, you can go ahead and check how your animation looks right now. Okay, I think our main part is clear. And now if you see our animation, what originally is in it, like, okay, we have this, our bigger rectangle, our bigger rectangle is position is nicely moving up and down, and we have a little circle here that also moving out. So it also kind of gives the impression of an exclamation mark. We'll try to do this. So when the big rectangle is moving, all the other layers in it is also moving with it. So that's the same concept of parenting, but we don't have to parent all the layers. Since our small shape layers is connected to our bigger semicircle, we just have to hold down to our bigger semicircle, which is this one, and connect it to our shape layer 1. Okay, the shape layer, correct, shape layer 2 also, because it's the same part, the same semicircle, we have just split it into 2. So now if I move the position of the diamond, all the shape layers will move along with it. Connect only shape layer 5 and shape layer 2 to shape layer 1, nothing else. Okay. Now we have also a small circle here. We can go ahead and from the ellipse tool, we can select a small circle. And we'll keep the color same as our bigger rectangle. Go ahead and draw a small circle here at the very bottom of it. And we'll adjust it so that it aligns properly. Okay. I will place it near the shape layer 1. So because these are our most isolated one, we don't have any much complicated animation in this. So we'll keep it together now so that we can easily view both and animate it. So go ahead in shape layer and open the transform properties. Go to the position and click the clock icon. So go ahead and when other see the other keyframes are aligned at the same position, and move the shape layer a bit upside. So guys, there is no, I don't think that you have to exactly follow me in this kind of thing. Whatever speed or whatever kind of animation you want, you can do it later on. And at this position, I will again copy paste my first layer so that it's kind of coming back to where it is. So at the middle frame, I will adjust to bit more upside. Okay. Okay. So now go to this the new circle we have drawn and open its transform properties. We'll do the same thing. Align the indicator at the first. Okay. Open the position, the keyframe, and the keyframe appears at the beginning, and we'll align it with the same keyframe again with this one, and we'll again animate the position. So okay, so this time, okay, initial position, I want the initial position of the circle to be a little closer to the rectangle, so that they are little closer to themselves. And again, when in the middle part, we want them to go little apart from themselves, so that they're a little far away. So this animation will also drag down a little, and at the end, we want this Control C, Control V again. So the first look looks something like this. Guys, if you have followed this, then you guys can go ahead and ease your keyframes. Select the keyframes, right click, keyframe assistant, ease, and do the same with the shape layer one also. Go ahead, right click, keyframe assistant, and ease.
Okay.
So once we easy it, we can do the same W wala thing in graph editor. You can go to the graph editor and can select the middle portion, and we'll drag down to make that W or M, whatever it is. And we'll do the same with our circle also. Go ahead and we'll select the middle portion and make it in a proper M. Okay, so now it will be much more smoother and happier. Yeah. Okay, guys, we are slowly coming to the end now. So when this color changes at this point, I want the color of this circle to also to be changed. So we'll do the same split thing that we have done earlier. You can select the layer, go to the edit, and select the split layer option. So once you selected the split layer option, you can directly go and change the color. Okay, so it doesn't affect my previous shapes, and now it will change its colors. Okay, so I want this backward and forward movement to be continued for a few seconds, and then we will be done. So I will close this one. I require only this. Okay, I will open my all the animation keyframes here, so that I can see where are the keyframes ahead of us. So we'll move few frames on the same and case on the same keyframes that we have put earlier, and on the shape layer we'll do the same copy paste thing. We'll select the middle layer and copy paste, and again on this one also we'll do the same thing. Select the alternate one and copy paste. So this will continue. Once this done, you guys can go and check the graph editor for both this layer. I think it automatically falls in shape. So sometimes what happens is that after some repetitive action in the same shape layer, it automatically detects how it's going to have a graph ahead. So since we have done it so many times, and in this shape layer we have done the M at before, it automatically detect, okay, the next layer will also be in this M form. So that's why I told you should go back and check how this in the graph editor, how your graph looks like. Sometimes it will not be like this. You have to manually again set your graph. And for this also, we'll check. It's also the same for me. You guys please go ahead and check it on your laptop also. How does it look? And I think we are done with this animation also. See, the thing is that I have created a simpler animation with no loop and all. So if you guys want to create a looping animation of this sort of kind, in the same way, you can adjust a keyframe that it goes back to your how the first animation was. So you can you can run it as a looping animation. Currently, it will not look as a looping animation because our ending is not same as the beginning. So once you adjust your ending as same as your beginning with colors and position, everything in the same place, it will look like it's in a continuous loop. Currently, it's like it's stopping abruptly and again starting. Also, before that, I want to show one thing. We have created the animation, but one thing I want to show how to export it in a video form. So you with the composition selected like this animation, I want to export it. Guys can go ahead in the composition settings. If you go ahead in the composition setting, there is an option called add to render queue. Select on the render queue. You will see others are my previous layers. You see the last one, which we are currently working on. So the best settings, I think it's always the default settings are always good. The quality is best and the resolution is at full. So we don't need to worry about all of this. So then is output module. In what output we want this to be exported. So click on it. Currently it's on lossless. Go ahead and we select, in the format option, we have couples of options. We want to choose the QuickTime because right now After Effects in the recent updates, they have removed the H.264 format that is for standard MP4, but we can go ahead to export the QuickTime format. Yeah, you can say format. Here is the different video codecs. I don't think you will require any of it. If you require, you can select from it, but these are more complex stuff. I always go with animation, keep it simple. And I think just it, and just I think it's okay for this. And just here you can select the location where you want to save the file. So I want to go ahead and I will select the place where I want to export it. I save it. So this will export your file in a .mov format. And you if you want, just click on the render, and this your animation will be rendered. Means .mov file will be available at the location wherever you have exported.